Hello, Playdate. This is Don.
This is Nick.
And I'm Ryan.
This week we are covering Playdate news.
Recent indie releases.
And greasing up those earbuds like the Arby's sauce to your curly fries.
That was gross. Thank you for listening. Let's get started.
Let us get started. It was a vegetarian version of Arby's. It shouldn't even offend you guys. It's okay.
Ear
right?
grease. We're starting with ear grease.
I mean, you gotta
That's all right.
squeeze those ear pods in there somehow. We gotta grease them up, right?
That's right.
It works better if there's a little Arby's sauce in there.
Arby's fantastic. I like Arby's
Well,
sauce.
I've never tried that, but I'm
Never tried Arby's sauce? You know what? We have international listeners. I bet we're confusing all of them right now. Arby's is not international, right? Is it just here in the States?
No.
Do you know? Is there
Nick,
Arby's in the UK? Maybe
Arby's
we'll get
international.
some
I'll look it up.
messages. Okay. Way to start the show off with a bang, guys. You know where else we're starting with are the news and notes for this episode. Starting with, there's going to be a Playdate panel at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. I got a little too much Arby's sauce in my mouth. That's happening this weekend, September 27th through 29th, and Playdate, the panel, Panic's Playdate panel. Gosh, you guys got me all excited with this Arby's. No, we're working through it. We're working right through it. We're doing this together. Sunday, September 29th, 2024 at 2 p.m. This is taking place in the Oregon Convention Center, and on that panel, you should see none other than Cable Sasser, Greg Maletic, Nevin Mergen, and James Moore. So if you'd like to see the tweetamication, where I found this, you can take a look at the old show notes from today's episode and get all that information that I just told you right now. And to follow up with that, Playdate is also going to be an exhibitor at the Portland. What is my problem? Portland Retro Gaming Expo. So there's going to be Playdates there. There's going to be Playdate merch for sale. There's going to be games to try, and they even listed the games that are going to be there. So if you're curious, it's going to be Mars After Midnight, Bullfrog Summit, Root Bear, Angel Pop, Robot Rally, Carve Jr., Yo-Yozo, Under the Castle, and 00 Perfect Stop. So what are you guys thinking about the Portland Retro Gaming Expo and Panic/Playdate's presence at that show?
I've always wanted to attend the Portland.
You did it too.
It's
yes,
contagious.
it's not just
infectious.
You got some Arby's sauce in your mouth too. How's that taste, Nick?
I can't believe that you managed to aim it in there from all the way in Michigan. Thank you.
This is going downhill fast.
PGRE. I've always wanted to attend. So this is really cool. I have a feeling this is going to be really neat. And that show always seems to be really interesting. A lot of older computer hardware and the like. Very cool.
Yeah, I like that lineup. That's a very diverse lineup of games, and it's cool they have multiple staffers at the convention. So it should be a good showing. And you'll hear more about at least one of those games later today. All this 00 Perfect Stop talk the past few weeks. This is the third episode in a row that it's come up. It makes me want to give it a shout or give it a shake. A crank? Give it a crank. Yes.
An Arby's sauce.
Give it a crank. Yeah.
Speaking of Arby's, it is international. There are locations in Canada.
Oh, you look.
Thank you for settling that.
Wait, did you say Canada?
Yes.
Are they beyond North America?
Yes, they're not in Europe, but they are in Egypt, Japan, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, and Turkey.
Wow, go
and
Arby's.
Costa Rica. Yes.
Oh man, that cowboy hat is making its way around the globe. Excellent. So Dino, coming to you soon. Anyway, I think this means we've reached our lasagna corner of the episode. So I'm going to let you know that episode 4 of Uncranked TV is coming out tomorrow, which means today, ? When this podcast publishes. There's going to be a 180 spotlight on Irish Jimmy. There's a little sneak peek info for you. And you can find that at the Uncranked PD Zine YouTube station. We'll have a link to that. You know where. Also, I'm going to pause to gauge everyone's opinion of episode number 4. Everyone's on their phones. Never mind.
No,
Issue
no,
number
no.
5. Ooh,
I'm
what?
listening. It's
Oh,
Irish
okay.
Jiminy. Yeah, I watched episode 3 with Raphael, which I think is Dunk. I don't know how to say his username, but he's on our Discord, and he developed Poker Magic.
Yes, and also pick of the week, balloon time,
Fun
magic
time
balloon.
adventure. Yes.
The Elysian brothers,
Test flight.
Montgolfier Brothers Test
flighting of the
Flight.
brothers. Yes, yes. Montgolfier brothers. Thank you, Nick. Can you say that when I'm not talking over you?
Montgolfier Brothers Test Flight.
Thank you very much, Nick. Um, love that game. I'm still baffled that it hasn't showed up on catalog yet, but maybe they're trying to space it out from Poker Magic. Anyway, that was a really great little interview with Donkey, Raf, however he prefers to be
That
named.
dev. Yes.
Yes, that awesome dev. So we can look forward to a little chit chat with Irish Jiminy. Thank you for the correction, Don. All right. I'm glad I paused to accept some corrections. Next, issue number 5 of Uncranked is going to have a sneak peek coming out soon with lots of announcements, so look out for that. Issue 4 was a doozy, and issue number 5 looks like it's going to be another great one. So I'm going to take a little moment to plug. Don't forget to get your subscription to Uncranked. Just show up at your doorstep. Don't even have to do anything for the next 4 issues. My goodness, that sounds like a dream to me. Also, Zanya is always planning something new, and this time the new thing Zanya is planning is called the Uncranked Solstice Showcase, which is happening December 21st. So Zanya tells me there's going to be holiday well wishes, trailers, anything Playdate is welcome, and there's going to be talk about the advent calendar and maybe even some more news. And I'm like, wait. This is too much for my brain to handle. What exactly is this thing? And it turns out it's like this YouTube show where anyone can like write in or email in or send a video or a message or something about whatever. So if you're a dev and you want to promote a game, great. If you're a player and you want to shout out to someone, you can do that too. It's very open. It's a very like holiday inclusive, Playdate themed show that Zanya's putting together. Sounded really cool to me, and I hope it sounds cool to you too. So don't forget to hit up Zanya if you want to send out some holiday love, and it sounds like she's going to make that happen. You guys, who are you going to put on Love Blast on the Uncranked Solstice Showcase?
I was trying to decide between Ryan or Nick, but I've got a little bit of time, I hope, to make that
Okay.
choice.
Right. No pressure.
What about you, Nick?
Yeah, we can only pick one.
You can only pick one, yeah.
We can't pick
Nope, just the one.
the entire Playdate community.
Just one person.
That's more than one person.
Okay. Some thought must go into this.
More
Sorry.
thinking.
When's the cutoff?
I don't know. It's airing December 21st, so sometime before that. Sounds like it's still very embryonic, since it is September after all. So get those wishes and well wishes and all the fantastic wishes into Zanya ASAPZ.
I like that. Very cheerful, joyful.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Totally. Go Zanya. Speaking of Zanya, there's an end of the summer Fun in the Sun merch that's going to be dropping soon. It's going to be the Fun in the Sun zine, the trading cards, a wristband, and essentially it sounds like all the stuff except the zine that she put out for the Fun in the Sun bundle. She's telling me that stock is limited, so if you're interested in this stuff, go find Zanya. Send her a message. I did not hear where that's going to be. I'm guessing it'll be posted on Zanya's store NB page. That seems to be where she's sending folks these days. But I will double check. In the meantime, is this Donathan? Don, did you find some news for us?
Yeah, Orange Thief posted that Resonant Tale now has a full walkthrough and guide. It's posted on itch. There'll be a link in the show notes. But that was one of our favorite games of 2023 and also a winner in the Playdate Community Awards 2023. But it's sort of a Zelda Link Between Worlds type adventure. Um, it's more than that, but I'm just throwing that as a touch point. But it's got a huge world to explore and lots of secrets. So if you need a hand, there is now a guide on the website for the game. So it's available both on itch and Playdate catalog. And yeah, check it out. Very cool to have a whole walkthrough. That's been
Yeah,
helpful
that
on a
is
few
neat.
games that we've talked about over the years.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Huh. Excellent. Just a little follow-up, boopity boop. I mean, a follow-up on the Solstice Showcase that's airing December 21st. I just got word that the deadline to send in your well wishes and game trailers and Playdate happiness is November 17th. Okay, November 17th, 2024. Get them in or be square. And I think that's it for the news and notes. Am I wrong? Is that it?
In good shape. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Nick, do you have any breaking news?
Breaking news. It's time for,
Beep, 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 boop.
well, is it time?
Wait.
Or did I
What's this?
misread this?
Destination update.
Oh,
Is that a thing?
it's a
Yeah.
new segment.
I was not consulted. Okay.
Very
Another
exciting.
chance to boop. Boop. Destination update happening right now.
We destination updated these last episode, Ryan. I think you were
But
here.
I didn't understand that it was like an actual boop worthy segment.
Do you want-
This is news to me.
Should I cut this out?
No, give me a
Okay.
chance to boop. Any chance I can boop, you know.
All right, you got some extra boops here. Destination Playdate posts reviews and videos on YouTube of brand new Playdate games every couple days, really. In the past 2 weeks, he's posted 3. So for
Wow.
the game Platformer, which we discussed a few weeks ago, similar. I didn't realize there was a level editor in the game, and he created a Mario 1-1, of course, and plays through it. So that is in the video.
So wait, I'm sorry to interrupt. The level editor, is that on Playdate? Or
Yeah.
I know there's been a couple games where they're like, oh, you got to go on the computer and then toss it on there, and that makes me frightened. So this is on the game itself?
You're putting me on the spot. I was second screening it, but I believe it's in the thing. Do I need to watch the video again while we're sitting here? I think it was in there, unless
Somebody will correct us.
Somebody will correct us, unless I'm totally wrong and the dev put it in there. Now I feel awful, not totally knowing. It's definitely level 1-1. It's definitely in the game. Maybe there's no level editor, and I'm gonna have to redo this whole thing.
I feel a correction coming on. Okay.
I am definitely gonna be a
Somebody will let
correction.
us know.
Possibly
in the
not a
meantime.
level editor, but someone, possibly the dev, edited their own level to make Mario 1-1.
Okay.
that
In
fair
the
enough?
meantime, while Don is rewatching that video, there was
I'm not
also
gonna
a
rewatch the
Destination
video.
Playdate update about Poker Magic, as we just discussed from Dake, Raf, etc. Please
Mhm.
let us know the correct way to pronounce your name, as well as Off Planet Dreams from our very own Ledbetter. So, pretty cool to have all this video content about the Playdate coming out. Great job, Sir Destination.
I didn't realize there are so many story modes in Poker Magic. And something that's fun with the Destination Playdate videos is he was stuck on normal mode and had played it many times, said there's no way to get past it, but broke through during the video. And that's happened on
exciting.
several of his videos. Yeah.
That's
I don't
cool.
think there's a level editor. I think I misinterpreted what was going on. So I feel shame. Thank you.
All right,
Okay, Ryan, we need a
That's
boop.
okay.
We remove your shame, Don.
Okay,
You're welcome
thank you.
here. This
I'm
is a
good
safe
enough.
space to boopity boop, and the inventory happening right now. Don, another chance for you to take it away.
I think this is Crazy Productions with the game Cyber Run 215. I left a comment here. It looks like Pac-Man for nerds. It's some sort of Pac-Man, but you're collecting zeros and ones, maybe, in a CPU. I had just booted it up, was right about to play it right before the show, and just got through the how to play segment. So I have not played it yet. But yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. Very cute.
So So it looks like the pseudo pellets change between zeros and ones. And am I mistaken? When you run over a one, you get points, but when it's a zero, it doesn't give you anything. Is that what's happening, or am I
Mm,
misinterpreting this?
I think you get points either way. I think the zeros are coins and they just look like ones sometimes. Like they flash between the two for
Hmm.
Oh, like
effect.
they're turning around.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a
But
Um,
definite maybe.
it looks cooler as a one and a zero though.
I mean,
did
it
you all
looks
know
very
that
much
this is a direct prequel to Ghost on the Run for the Atari VCS?
ghosts
I was
on the
not aware of
run.
that. What is Ghost on the
And
Run?
well, it's currently in development, so I'm not sure. But um, do you think this is for the modern VCS or for the Atari 2600?
I
What's
still,
the difference?
I still hope you're not asking me.
I
The
don't know what those are either.
the modern one is like a modern Android based computer, I
Hmm.
think,
Yeah, I have seen
and
that.
it has the wireless CX40. Um, or maybe it's for the 2600. There's a big homebrew scene for the 2600, so um, not sure.
Asking the wrong crowd, Nick. Maybe it's for the Lego one.
Listeners, or perhaps Crazy Productions, let us know about Ghost in the Run, uh, because I don't see a link to it on your itch page, but I'm very intrigued by all of this. This looks very fun.
Yeah, I'm looking at their other projects and I don't see it either. Yeah, now I'm curious.
If you are Mr. Kraz Productions, you can email us at helloplaydatepodcast@gmail.com and answer all of Nick's questions right there.
All of Nick's singular question.
Please
Yeah,
put
all of
attention,
Nick's
Nick.
question.
Anyway, yeah, the game looks fun. I am looking forward to playing it as soon as we're done recording this.
Okay.
Speaking of fun games, fun looking games, what else came out, Don?
Another game that came out, Horrified Hector. It's the spooky time of year. It's officially fall now. This is Name
Mhm.
Your Own Price from Surat 107. Horrified Hector is a puzzle exploration game for the Playdate inspired by spooky kids' cartoons and brain
Mm.
scratching ice maze puzzles. So you shove stuff around, slide around, but the characters are really cute. They remind me of a lot of the, yeah, edutainment type games I played
I
as a
I
kid.
love that spooky castle that you enter too there in that second gift. That looks really great. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
guessing this was made in pulp. I don't know, but that's an ambitious series of pulp tiles to put together.
It looks pulpy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick, would you like to read a few, or are you content? We did not sort this out before, so I'm doing this to
Well,
tick Ryan off, apparently.
let's
I'm
let's go over
Zen.
this.
What are you talking about? Total Zen.
Mm.
This last game that we talked about is Horrified Hector. It's by Surat 107, and it is Name Your Own Price.
We covered that one.
I know. I like to do a top and bottom to give people a way to look
Okay.
it up.
Love that.
Okay.
Very helpful.
Here comes the
Okay.
top one.
Yep. Are you all familiar with Conway's Game of Life?
I'm not.
Never heard of it.
Okay. Well,
I feel
then
like Nick's
you.
asking us a bunch of questions to make us feel bad this episode, Don.
We get it. You're
Ryan.
smart, Nick. You're worldly and experienced.
Okay. Well, Conway's Game of Life is a computer science exercise, which is kind of famous in those circles. But anyway, Life in Pixels is a rendition of Conway's Game of Life,
I feel like Nick just
exclusively
out hipstered us. It's
designed.
kind of famous. You guys don't know it.
Kind of famous, but yeah, you wouldn't understand. Exclusively designed for the Playdate. This was by Pixel Addict Games, and it is free, as
What?
are most implementations of Conway's Game of Life.
Hmm.
Um, so there are specific patterns which arise and fall with these different squares, and that's the game of life. Is you are creating these colonies basically, and then watching them live, grow, and die. So you're trying to prevent things like overpopulation or underpopulation, and allow the cells or the life forms to reproduce and survive. Trickier than it seems. There are a lot of really interesting patterns which form. This is the basis of a lot of algorithmic teaching in computer science. So it's pretty foundational and also pretty neat. And I don't remember or know a lot of the history of Conway's Game of Life, but I believe this came about in the looking it
70s.
up, 70s is what I was going to guess, but not sure.
I looked it up.
Oh, you did. Awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, in 1970 specifically, yes. So anyway, that is Life in Pixels. It's free by Pixel Addict Games on itch. Okay, last up. Tenebra is made by Haplo. It is $4.99 on itch, and it's an atmospheric adventure puzzle game with roguelike aesthetics. So the aesthetics I would describe as similar to the graphical version of NetHack, actually.
Oh,
It
really?
is actually very cool looking,
Yeah.
exciting. So you are required to guide the hapless protagonist to the exit, but it says the poor guy is afraid of darkness and refuses to walk in the dark areas. So you have to move torches around, push lights on rails, find keys to doors, light up cold braziers, pass through archways that collapse behind you, find oil barrels to make your torches brighter, squeeze through cracks and broken walls, fix broken rails with a hammer, illuminate the sensors to open the exits, do whatever it takes to get out of there. The free demo version contains the first 8 of 31 levels, and the paid version, the $4.99 version, is all 31. So, and apparently this is also available on other platforms like the NES, the PC, and
Wow.
oh gosh,
Oh, wow. A
8-bit
ton. Yeah.
computers. Yeah. C64, BBC Micro, MSX, etc.
The
So,
Jaguar.
yep.
Hey,
MS-DOS, CX Spectrum. Even the Atari ST. So a lot of 8-bit computers.
Nick, this one's kind of famous. I don't know if you knew about this.
Yeah, I didn't. So this is really cool.
This is cool.
Oh, and just even deeper dive here. Did you know there's a Tenebra 2?
On the
I'm
Playdate
just
or elsewhere?
elsewhere. I'm just learning this now on 8-bit computers and the NES. Anyway, this is like a big deal that this is on Playdate. Very cool.
Very cool indeed. Wow. Huh. I've never heard of the game before. I feel like I've seen a lot of NES games, but I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, well, it wasn't a traditional commercial release.
Ah,
So this was a homebrew.
okay.
Did you ever play Helsing's Fire?
No.
No, it's a similar puzzle game. It was on mobile and I think PC. It was definitely on mobile, but it was a very good game. But I think it got delisted ages ago. But similar to this.
Hmm.
But cool. Yeah, makes me want to give this a go.
Very neat indeed. Thank you, Nick.
Indeed.
Okay, so that was Tenebra by Haplo, $4.99 on
Which
itch.
on itch, yes, which means I think maybe Don, do you approve of another section? Is this a section that deserves a
think
boop
it's
when we
part of
move
the same
to
section,
catalog?
right?
Is this boop approved?
If you require a boop so that we can now have this conversation on air without editing it out, then yes, that's fine.
Boop. We're in the catalog section.
All right. So
Hey,
from Ledbetter, Off Planet Dreams, we spoke about it earlier, out today officially, $6, full of secrets, full of platforms, invisible ones that become visible if you tap a button. It's yeah, you jump up and you find a platform and you find a key and you find a door, but the platforms are invisible. It's a really inventive game with very
Mhm.
small character, with very cute animations. If you've ever played a Ledbetter game, there's a lot of charm, and you kind of know what you're getting into. If you haven't played a Ledbetter game, this is not a
Then what are
bad
you
place to
doing?
start. Yeah, yeah. This must be the first episode you listen to of this podcast, but there's a demo if you would like to start there. There's a trailer, but we're big fans of Ledbetter games.
Yep. P.S. Dear listener, excuse me, if you do not remember us talking about Off-Planet Dreams this episode, it's probably because we talked about it before we started recording. So we were talking about this for a minute and then pressed go. So I'm pretty sure we did not talk about it in this episode so far? Question mark?
I thought we had it earlier in the notes because Destination Playdate did a video about it.
Oh,
That's all.
right.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was it.
Never mind, listener. You're totally remembering the right thing. My apologies.
Now we talked about it an additional time though, so you must play it an additional time.
This
Um,
is a requirement of us being in your ear holes right now.
Inspirations from N Plus, great game. The Blob, great game. Boy and His Blob, great game, as well as Mario and Mario Maker. Okay games. Anyway, check it out. Give it a shot. You'll smile constantly playing Off Planet Dreams. I will say that we were sent test copies, but that did not color our opinions. At least not mine. These guys will shill for anything. Next up is Pomo
Well,
Post. Huh? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
Off Planet Dreams is $6 on catalog.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Pomo Post by Gamma, $2 out today. It's a Pomodoro timer. Ryan, do you remember what a Pomodoro timer is? We talked about this before the episode.
Yeah, we did. Let's see if I was listening. It's a thing where I guess there's a cockamamie notion that if you interrupt yourself every so often, that you're more productive, right?
Yeah, you need a
Yeah,
break
that's
now
it.
and then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Every 20 minutes, you need a 5-minute break.
Every
That's the
20
idea.
minutes. How do you get into the zone if you're doing if you pick up a game every 20 minutes?
You pick it up for 5 minutes. You don't have to pick up a game. You can go get a snack, use the bathroom, get some water. But just every 20 minutes, your brain needs to shake up a little so you don't go
Reset.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you don't need to go wee wee every 20 minutes?
Then you pick up this game and you just
And you
walk
hit the
around your
button.
desk, do some
Okay,
stretches,
it's all
some
making sense now.
squats. There you go.
Okay, this makes sense now. All right, I'm with you.
Yeah. Anyway, looks super cute. Looks like there's a male theme or something. Different audio tracks, a blinking LED notification, and a custom timer from your little yellow friend.
I think that is pretty cool. There's very few games that use the LED
Mm-hmm.
in any specific way. So I think this might be the breakthrough application that brings us a lot of blinking LED.
Interesting. And
So,
also,
you think?
if I'm not sure if you guys caught this, this is a subtlety, but if you don't have to go pee pee every 20 minutes, you can play pee pee. Pomo Post. Bringing it around. Okay.
We
Okay.
got the artist on board. And I'm sorry, it's typically 25 minutes of focus, then a 5-minute break. Then I think after you do 2 rotations, you get a 15-minute break. It's been a while
Interesting.
since I've done one. There are a lot
Okay.
of really cool Steam games that are like run on the bottom of your window screen. Like you can build a farm on the bottom there, but you can only mess with your farm every 25 minutes.
Oh, interesting. Huh. Cool.
But now you don't even need that because you have this game, Pomo
Right?
Post. Nick,
does-
how much is this? Oh, sorry.
Wait, I have a question. Does
Mhm.
before purchase price, because we know it's going to be worth the price of admission. But if Pomodoro timers work every 25 minutes, you take a 5-minute break. Does this mean that Pomo Post only lets you play in 5-minute increments?
There are different settings, but yes, that's the idea. Then after 5 minutes, it rings, back to work, and you got to put it down.
Man, I'm all turned around on this game. Might have to buy this for only how much, Nick?
Why, it's $2, Ryan, on catalog. And this was made by Gamma. One other thing that I thought was kind of cool is that there's 4 different audio tracks, which I think you said, Don, and I totally didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
It
Why
doesn't
don't you
hurt
why,
to
why don't
repeat
you
it.
listen to Don anymore? You need to
I'm
listen
sorry.
to Don.
We need to have that conversation off air with our counselor. Next
All right.
up,
Yeah.
Nick. What's next up?
Why done? It's Castaway Samurai, and this is made by Ira and Little Giants. And the back of the box blurb is you're surviving shark attacks as a castaway samurai, catching fish while battling the imminent sinking of your raft in this fast paced action game. And this was inspired by a real story.
Hmm. Life of Pi.
hmm I believe that's it. No, it's the real story of this is probably going to be mispronounced. Manjiro Nakahama.
Hmm.
And the game urges you to live the experience of a lone samurai survivor struggling for their life using everything at their disposal.
Even the giant tiger on their boat.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
This does look cool.
This looks a lot like the game Skull and Bones by Ubisoft. If you're
Okay.
familiar. Yeah.
Looks
Mostly
like there's
saying that so
crank
people
integration here
will get
too.
mad, but
Catching those
yeah,
fish. Yeah.
Or the game Raft.
this looks just like Raft. There's a bunch of squids or something flying by. You hit them with your hook and drag them in and put them in your cooler. Yeah, this does
Yeah.
actually look really fun.
Gotta eat
Mhm.
somehow.
I had never heard of this until today, but now
Yeah, I
I'm
had not
interested.
either.
I
Yeah.
wish I knew how
Boy.
much it cost.
Well done, you're in luck because it costs $3 on catalog.
I
And
will
that
start
is,
pinching my pennies now.
you need 300 of them
While
plus
Dawn is
tax.
pinching, I want to congratulate Ara and Little Giants on this banger of a game here, Castaway Samurai. Which brings us to another catalog
Propeller
update.
Propeller Rat by Squid God, $6. See, Ryan, I told you we could fill an hour with very little content. You were worried. We could drag this out for a while.
I can't believe our last episode was over an hour.
Phew. All right, Propeller Rat. Test your crank dexterity. You're piloting a propeller-strapped rat through increasingly challenging hazard-filled worlds. So I watched a little bit on of like Squid God always does these tutorial type dev vlogs videos on YouTube, and there's like a
Mhm.
20-minute one on where the inspiration came and how he created this game. And he said it was based on one of his favorite what are those things called? Like a game that you play on a computer, but you don't have to install it. I am blanking out. Nick, what are they called? It's like a Flash game. Flash game. Thank you, Nick. Anyway, it's based on one of his favorite Flash games. And I did like the little character of the rat with the propeller does look really familiar, but I don't think he actually says what game it was. And I couldn't quite place it, but it does look like a lot of fun. There's a ton of leaderboards, Ryan. And yeah, you
Uh-huh.
fly your little dude around, you crank him around and try and survive these crazy looking levels. They look
Yes,
very
it looks like there are some very interesting level designs in here to get to know these. Like, it's not just one-way movement. There's some patterns to learn here and some seemingly impossible levels, but there he shows you through these GIFs ways to maneuver around them, but it still looks crazy challenging. This looks like another really cool effort from Squid God. Nice work.
Mhm.
Definitely. And Propeller Rat is $6 on catalog. Congratulations, Squid God.
A steal at 87 times the price. Nice work. And after Propeller Rat, it looks like we've got some spoiled mushrooms.
Spilled.
Spilled. Reading. This is made by John Wheatchalk. It's $6. Going to get that out of the way before we all forget. And you're embarking on a grand journey to deliver a basket of extremely important mushrooms. You accidentally spilled them, all of them, in a lot of places. Fortunately, you are befriended by a whole squad of local critters to help you recover your lost fungi. So recover and gather as many as you can before that delivery deadline. This sounds real fun. What are you guys thinking about spilled mushrooms? They're not spoiled, they're just spilled.
Yeah, I mean it's always a real problem when I spill a basket of mushrooms everywhere, all over the place, and have to recruit animals to help me collect them again. So I really empathize with the premise of this game. Um, but yeah, it's a card puzzle game with quick and charming puzzles. It says so. This sounds pretty interesting. I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking at with the gifts just yet, but I'm sure it would make a lot more sense in playing. What do you think, Don?
Yeah, the gifts are fairly complex but legible.
Hmm.
It looks charming. It looks fun. It's something that I want to learn more about. So yeah, appealing. I see lots of stats. That's appealing to me.
Yeah, it seems a little bit RPG-esque in the sort of methodical choices that you have to make. If I had to wager a guess, but again, haven't played it. But you know what I do see here is Ray heating up the catalog title art. We just talked about Propeller Rat. He did the title card artwork for that, as well as Spilled Mushrooms. Man, Ray all over catalog today.
Everyone loves Ray. Thank you, Ray, for your continued contributions to the Playdate community. And this game, Spilled Mushrooms, $6 by John Weechock and many others in the supporting cast. Moving on
Which,
to
yeah, you do
me
it, Don.
cutting off Ryan
No, make it happen.
in our
This
sale
this is a
games.
sectional of a sections, which means Don's booping us into it.
A boopless transition over to the sale catalog. 2 games from Mouflon Cloud. Be Kind to Yourself is $6 and Stars of the Screen is $5. And Hodge Dodge by Buck Young still on sale. It is $3. So check those out right now. Don't wait. And now we can move on to our pick of the week, Ryan.
Pick of the week, which is a Don pick. Don, what'd you pick? Remind us.
So I picked Angel Pop by NNN. This is a game that has gotten a lot of praise, a lot of buzz. Staff note here on the catalog, Playdate catalog page. One of the most satisfying and impressively fast bullet hells on the Playdate. You play as a young girl in a serene dream world in Angel Pop, a mixed media, multi-directional bullet hell shooter, lovingly crafted bullet hell patterns and set pieces. So, yeah, the mixed media, I think, is something that really sets it apart. It reminded me a little bit of and Yet It Moves. Was that the game, Nick, on Wii? You're not shaking your head either direction. But yeah, it's a mixture of like cute little sort of anime-ish drawings with photorealistic backgrounds, and then it'll mix in like beeps and boop music, but then it'll have actual vocals over top of it, animated characters and flashing bullets and shapes and hand-drawn bullets and hand-drawn shapes, and it's just like a mix of all kinds of different things going on. And so this game was always really appealing. I like bullet hell games, even though I'm terrible at them. And one thing that really caught my attention with Angel Pop is that there's so many different difficulty settings that the game sort of starts to adapt to how good or how bad you are, and that really caught my attention. And so I thought, oh, well, if I select this as my game of the week, surely I will be able to get through it because it'll adapt directly to how poorly I am at playing, how poorly my skill is at these games. But I would like to hear more about what you gentlemen thought of Angel Pop. Nick, Brian is nodding but yawning. Nick, what are your thoughts on Angel Pop?
Well, I played through Angel Pop. I made it all the way through, and I spent some time in a bonus mode, which unlocks afterwards as well. I unfortunately played the vast majority of the time with the audio all the way down because I was near somebody who didn't want to hear more than just my frustration. So um, I didn't unfortunately get to hear really any of the audio, and so I can't comment upon that. But I was very impressed by what I read and what little that I heard of the audio. It seems like quite a feat. And speaking of quite a feat, the programming required to make such a smooth shooter on the Playdate very, very impressive.
Hmm.
I asked a couple of technical questions of the dev behind the scenes, just to figure out exactly how they were doing some things, because the Playdate, um, by default, in my little experiments that I've done, is not very efficient at this particular task, which is throwing 100 million sprites on the screen and making them all animate in a smooth
Yeah.
frame rate, and calculating collisions. So that's the really chunky task there. Not just the rendering of the sprites, but also, if one of the sprites touches you, do you blow up? So for uh, that calculation has to run all the time, and it's very intensive. So anyway, very, very impressive.
So wait,
I
before you leave this technical talk behind and Don tells you to stop, was there like an English explanation of how that worked out? Because that sounds super interesting to me, but I don't know if I
so
can understand it
my
in code terms. Is there a
I
way you
didn't
could
get
explain it that I would understand?
very deep, because this must have required some deep magic as far as the actual, uh, I think the dev said hacks. Not hacks, but tricks needed to force the Playdate to calculate quickly enough to do
Hmm.
this. But my main query was this done using the C SDK or Lua? Because if it was Lua, that would be even more impressive. This is already insanely impressive, but something in Lua would be ridiculously impressive, because Lua itself is very, very heavy.
So the answer to that was what? C?
C.
Okay.
That's the English answer. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Nick.
Um, so yeah, I really enjoyed my time with it. I did have some difficulty in certain stages, and I want to talk with you all about that. But Ryan, what did you think?
Yes, I think like everyone who's played it or even seen the animated GIFs was quite impressed with this game. Um, when uh, when I first started playing it, it was a little rough for me trying to get the hang of like the last direction you move is the direction that your bullets are going to start going. And so I had to get the hang of like, oh, I need to shoot to the left, but I'm trying to get away to the right, but oh, I need to move left first and then start shooting and then move away if I want to, propel things over toward the left. Anyway, that took several games for me to kind of wrap my brain around. But once I understood that, I started progressing through levels much better. Um, and learning some of the patterns that exist within each level and strategies for what to get rid of first and where to start shooting immediately rather than like initially seeing a stage and taking it all in and wondering, well, where should I go? You've played it a couple times, and so then you can kind of progress past that stage a little easier. Um, I don't think we've mentioned this yet, but when you progress through the game, it opens up options to practice any levels that you've played already. So if you died on level 12, you don't have to start back at level 1 and go all the way through to practice on level 12 again. You can just sort of practice level 12, get better at it, and then move forward. So you don't have to go through all those initial stages, which I thought was really cool to include. There's also a stage select that also took me a minute to wrap my brain around. It was sort of an odd selection visual for my tiny brain. It was like a couple of like gravestone looking things. And then they sort of zoom up out of the ground as you select them. And then once you are on one of the risen gravestones, for lack of a better word, you can like select what difficulty level of that particular one. But uh, I guess one of my qualms is I wish the level select were visualized in a different way. I appreciate that there was sort of a new approach to selecting level design, but the visuals threw me a little bit, if I'm being honest, for that. But once in game and once getting a handle on the controls, man, it just all flowed like butter, even though there's a gajillion sprites on the screen. I only made it through to levels. I don't know. What is the level with the, well, I guess we're in spoiler territory. Can we say that?
Wait. Okay, so yeah,
Okay.
there is a story through here, and there are gameplay changes that I would say are surprising and spoilery,
Okay.
and story beats that are spoilery. Um, if you want to be totally, I would say if you think you're good enough to play through the game, then maybe stop now because you'll want to be surprised. But if you have played it and you're not going to get all the way through, then go ahead and listen because we'll probably talk all the way through.
Yeah,
Sound
I
good?
I'm
Okay.
usually not one for caring about spoilers, but I would agree with Don on this. There's some interesting stuff that comes up that was fun to experience in gameplay. So yeah, I second Don's notion here.
Cool. I guess real quick, yeah, thumbs up. I enjoyed it overall, even though I suck at it. It sounded like Nick enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much.
So if you're checking out, quick impression is yeah, enjoyed it. Go check it out. Okay, Ryan.
Okay, so I think the next thing that was going to come out of my mouth was I made it to the level with the mirror images of yourself, where there's a bunch of you sprites running around the screen. And that was the level that I kind of topped out at. And I thought that was a super fun surprise because, I mean, you know which sprite is you when you start, but when there start to be so many of them, it is an interesting challenge to keep track of yourself. I thought that was a really smart, fun, surprising addition to the game. But I know that Nick made it a whole lot farther than I did. And I'm curious where you made it to, Don. I'm guessing you made it past there.
No, I didn't make it nearly as far.
Hmm.
I don't think I made it. I made it just before the this level 19 that you're talking about with all of your images, but I watched a complete playthrough, which was about a half hour long.
Okay.
So I've seen the whole game. I sat and watched the whole thing. I didn't second screen it either. So
So the game can be finished theoretically on a single credit, meaning no continues. Um, that is not how I completed it.
Hmm.
It took me several continues. There are approximately 50 stages, and you have the option to continue every 10 stages. So once you complete stage 10 and you start stage 11, you can pick back up from stage 11. Um,
Oh,
and
really?
that continues, yep, until you get to stage 20 and clear it. And then you can pick up from stage 21 and on. Um, so that's extremely helpful. And some of the later stages are very quick, they're very brief. So it's possible to get through them very, very quickly and move through 10. I found the highest difficulty stages were, I think I sent them to you all, but I seem to recall 19, which is the one that Ryan topped out on.
yeah.
Um, something in the 20s.
And 19, seeing the way it was cleared on the video, it seemed more like a puzzle, but I can see how Ryan would get stuck on it. Like
Yeah,
the way you have to use your bombs and stuff.
19, 20,
Huh.
and 30 are ones that I thought were pretty big skill checks. Like they require specific approaches to complete, I would
Hmm.
say.
So what
And
was the specific approach to what do you call it? Mirror image of you, the duplicate use?
so those you have to destroy before they start shooting. Once they start shooting, you're basically toast.
Huh.
And if you can't do that, then you have to have some bombs. So the only tip I can give really is to get there with at least one spare life and hopefully with at least one bomb.
Hmm.
And so when you die, you regenerate bombs. You have 3 bombs per life.
Hmm.
Anytime that you use a bomb, it will obliterate anything that comes within the radius. It will also give you a few frames of invincibility. where any object that collides with you will not harm you.
You're saying a bomb gives you invincibility,
Yes.
but only if you're inside the bomb radius,
No.
though, correct?
Nope. You can wander on out.
Are you sure about that?
No, but I'm
Yeah, I thought it
fairly
was more like
said
a
it,
force
but
field.
you said it very confidently.
I feel very confident about it because I feel like I've done that a lot. So anyway, whether or not I'm wrong, who will know? Any of our listeners, please correct me, or the dev. If
Okay,
you
well,
happen to be
looking
listening.
at, you can see on the third GIF, they set a bomb when they're in it. And it doesn't look like
Yeah,
they're flashing when they come out of it.
you can set a bomb when you're in it, but if you move out of it within a couple of frames, then you're still invincible at that time. Or I'm wrong, or I'm looking at the sprite in a weird way, or I'm not paying attention. I don't know.
Anyway,
All right,
yeah,
I
it's very
can solve
busy.
this. I can solve this. I just looked it up, fired up the game, blew up a bomb, went outside the radius, and ran right through an enemy without getting destroyed. So it does last for like 2 or 3 seconds.
Well,
So Nick's
okay.
right.
Anyway,
Did you know gaming?
so we can edit out the last 25 minutes there of me talking about these invincibility frames, but yeah, it's very difficult at that stage. But once you push past that, and you make it through stage 20, things lighten up quite a bit for about 10 levels, and then it's pretty tough, and then it gets a lot easier through the rest of the game. So there's just certain points which are very, very challenging.
I'm glad you said something about continuing. I did not even know you could continue. I saw the continue, but it was always at one. So I'm like, what good is this? It just takes you right back to the beginning. So thank you. Push that right arrow, guys, and you'll be able to continue at the last 10 spot you
Very
left off on.
helpful.
Yeah.
Very
Thank you,
helpful.
Nick. Right again.
So once you complete the game, and one thing I guess I would like to talk about is the controls. So Ryan mentioned the button controls where you push the button and you move, and then you push the button to shoot. And then you can hold the button down and you continue shooting in that direction, even as you're moving about the screen. Um, that is one method of control. The other method is with the crank. Did either of you experiment with the crank controls?
No.
Mm-hmm. I did crank for a long time until I decided to like one-off try the buttons, but then the buttons work pretty well too. So it's almost like two different things depending on what you're going for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really enjoyed the feel of the crank using it, but I was not as accurate at first. It took some good practice before I really felt like I was doing well with the crank. Um, Part of that is that you have to continuously move the crank, so you've got to kind of wiggle it back and forth. It's like Dolphin Splash we were talking about,
Yeah.
where you have to maintain speed. It's kind of the same deal. And with the buttons, you don't have that. With the buttons, however, I felt like I was not as accurate as I was with the crank because you can move it about in 360 degrees and really cover the spread of the entire screen. With the buttons, you really have to be paying very close attention to the direction that you're moving before you start firing. So I found myself only using the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west, and not using any diagonals at all with the buttons. So I cleared the game, the base game, just using the buttons. But an additional mode opens up after you clear that base game, and that you pretty much have to use the crank, I would say. And I love that mode. That is the mode that I enjoyed playing the very most. Super fun. Really, really, really hard.
Is
But
that Nightmare or Turbo?
very fun. Turbo. Yeah.
Turbo, okay.
So everything moves much faster. You move much faster.
More
It's just
fast. All right.
yeah.
Mercy.
Oh, it's great.
Hmm.
And as impressed as I was with the base game and how quickly it moved and how much stuff showed up on screen, all those sprites moving so much faster, just incredible. So,
That
anyway,
would break my brain.
it is a lot of fun. I don't get very far in it, but it's fun. I've never made it 10 stages in, for example, but that's the dream one day. Um, anyway, so Ryan, what else did you experience there in your time?
Oh gosh. Boy, put me on the spot.
Well,
I
did you
just thought
try Nightmare mode?
I did. It was too much for me.
It was a nightmare.
I tried it a time, and then I went right back to the easiest possible mode because that was still difficult for me. But I did enjoy learning the different levels, um, and sort of being able to surpass levels that I thought were impossible for me, and then learning ways through them. So yeah, I enjoyed my time. I would not have picked this game without a Don pick as usual, but as usual, I'm really glad that Don did pick it. I feel like I I'm graced with playing a grand variety of games because of our different picks. If it was just me, I'd be picking, you know, score chasers all the time, and this is really fun to find this really chaotic but very polished gem of a game because of this. Yeah.
I had hoped that like I had played it several times before the last 2 weeks, and I had hoped that this would have somehow clicked and like got me past it. And I just think that I'm not fast enough anymore as a gamer. Like I'm just not good enough anymore. Um, Even with, and there in our Discord, there are a lot of tips and tricks that were really helpful. And I really
Hmm.
appreciate the dev and our community for all the discussion in there because they shared a lot of tips and tricks in there, which is really cool to see the discussion back and forth, the way you use bombs to improve your scores. And it's not just like an easy out kind of thing, but you have to use them in certain stages or to achieve certain scores and whatnot.
Mm.
That really was interesting that that was part of the intention of the dev. And I sort of saw them after a while as like shields more than bombs. I guess they're bombs
Hmm.
because they do kill whatever's in the immediate
Damage.
area. Yeah, they do
Right.
damage. Thank you. But they, for my purpose, served more as a shield than
Same.
anything because
Yeah.
they, whatever you kill, all of their bullets disappear, but
Hmm.
Hmm.
they also protect you for a second or two or whatever it is. But and I guess a bigger spoiler is that later in the game, um it's not just a 360 twin stick in quotes shooter. I like that the gameplay changed from side scrolling to vertical and whatnot, and that the bosses had a lot of surprises to them. The patterns, all the collectibles. Like I love collecting coins and the stuff like um a Kai Katana and stuff like that was just like a million things popping out. I didn't think that was possible in the Playdate, and this proved that it was, and it's just like this fun experience. I love that sort of thing, even if I suck at it. It's still fun to kind of suck at it over and over. So I
Yeah,
appreciated that.
I also thought the interstitial flower collecting stages were fun too.
Hmm.
Like it gave you a brief moment of calm between the chaos. It was fun.
It's cute, you know. Anyway, I'd encourage everybody to at least if you hit your endpoint, find a walkthrough video and um, view the rest of it because, like Nick said, it's not super long, and there's a lot of cool ideas in there throughout the rest of the game. And the soundtrack is a banger, Nick. You gotta check it out. It's on Bandcamp.
Yeah, I need to.
It's good. At first, I was like, I don't know. It's kind of annoying for like the first 10 seconds, but that's kind of what you want in a shooter. But then after a little while, you're like, oh, this is a really good song. And you kind of forget that it transitioned into and built into like this epic song, I guess, as the level proceeds. So it's kind of cool.
I think I saw the dev talking a bit in the Discord about how they accomplished that as well.
Hmm.
The Playdate makes that kind of challenging uh, with the way that audio streams work on it. So um, interesting. A lot of technical prowess went into this game.
Reminded me of like the weird Japanese games that we for a long time we rarely got ported over to the PS1, PS2. It
Mhm.
reminded me of that sort of thing. So
Cool. Great pick, Don.
cool. Glad you guys liked it.
Indeed.
Very much.
Speaking of great picks, next week or next fortnight is a Ryan pick, and I have picked. This is a former indie inventory game. I was inspired by Don once again. I was poking through some of those after one of our episodes and really fell head over heels for Squids. Squids is this like, pseudo Flappy Bird game, but it's with a squid and there's a ton of different ways to maneuver your squid. So there's like a very, very easy instructional at the start says press A to move up a little bit. And that is how you maneuver your squid as you're scrolling horizontally. But then there's other modes to move your squid, like instead of pressing A to move up a little bit, A will change your direction. So you're either going up and then press A and then you start moving down and vice versa. And the whole feel of the game changes. There's also modes where you're not moving the squid, but you're moving the obstacles, the pipes. And again, it wouldn't seem like that simple of a mechanic change would make a big deal or make the game feel much different, but it sure does. And this one really sunk its teeth into me. So I hope that there's a few folks willing to join me on this really fun score chaser. Just be careful. That squid has some really sensitive parts. If you touch an edge of the squid, oh boy, howdy, you're done for. So anyway, there's my pitch for Squids. I hope everybody goes out and plays it. It is a name your own price game. Uh, I hope you'll toss a little something the devs way. Esden is the fellow who made this, or the person who made this rather. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Very cool. Just side loaded as you were speaking.
Fantastic. And by the way, since we're at the end of the episode, I want to give a quick self-promotional plug. I think you may remember from past episodes, I was doing a Kickstarter for this Big Bad Beautiful book that actually just came out this summer, and I've been crazy touring it, and I'm about halfway through the tour, but I've still got a few copies of the book left. And so if you want to pick one up before, who knows, maybe they're all gone at the end of this tour. I don't know how it's going to go, but go to onebiteatatimebook.com. That's onebiteatatimebook.com. I just finished up a planetarium presentation, which was super fun. And I'm going to be in Chicago a couple times this coming month in October. So maybe I'll see you around the States.
Well, before you see Ryan in Chicago, come see me at the White Rose Game Room Show. I'll be there during next episode. So I won't be here next episode, but I'll be preparing, strapping games into a van and doing stuff like that. So at any rate, I hope to see some listeners there. That would be really cool. Come over, say hi. I'll be at the For Amusement Only Games booth at the White Rose Game Room Show in York, Pennsylvania, October 10th through 12th.
Very cool. Wish I could be there. It's a fantastic show, and if you've never seen Nick there, he brings a ton of games, so go say hi. Well worth it. In the meantime, back to Hello Playdate Podcast land. You can find us on the web at playdatepodcast.com. We've got a Discord you can join. We've got the Instagrams. We've got the Twitters. We've got the Blueskis, the Mastodons, the Threads. I guess I should say what those are. The Instagram is Hello Playdate. The Twitter is Hello PD Podcast. The Blueski is Blueski at social dot something Hello Playdate. That's what it is. Mastodon, are we still doing that, guys?
No, I
No,
haven't
I
touched it
won't
in
mention that
ages.
then.
Yeah.
Okay. Threads, is that happening?
Yeah. Use that now and
Okay.
then.
All right. Threads at Hello Playdate. And boy, howdy, you can call us on the tip line, the bingo tip lines. That's a special just for you and us line that you can call. It's 1-724-246-4617, or you can call 724 bingos 1. easier way to remember it, and leave us a little message.
4671.
Get there's some numbers. 724 bingo's one, and give Don some additional editing work. He'll splice you right in there. Silky smooth, Don. I see you rubbing your eyes, your nose.
I'm trying to be nice.
That's usually the sign that I did real well, because I see Don do that a lot.
I'll give you a C plus. All right.
Better than usual.
Thanks all for listening. We'll catch you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.